Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. Today we're discussing the Omega Seamaster Professional Planet Ocean Olympic Collection 2008 Special Edition Chronograph. You can see this Beijing 2008 Special Edition Planet Ocean Chronograph and purchase it on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos, and please click on the card in the upper right hand corner of the screen at any time during this video to see our full sales listing for this watch, with additional accessories included in the sale, high resolution images for your desktop, and naturally complete pricing details for this 45.5mm Planet Ocean chronograph from the Olympic Specialties Collection 2008. Can you believe it's been a decade since the Beijing Olympics already? We're gearing up for 2020, and this watch looks just as good as it did a decade ago. Now, 45.5mm, the Planet Ocean has changed gradually. Omega realized that it got it fundamentally right out of the gate in 2005, so the evolution has been gradual. As a result, even though this is a special edition dedicated to a decade ago, nevertheless it looks contemporary and objectively attractive. A smart combination of white metal, black accents, and a few splashes of judiciously chosen Olympic color. Now, 45.5mm across the round of the case is not including the helium escape valve, the crown guards, crown, or chronograph pushers. It is a thick timepiece, though curiously not as thick as Omega claims. The watch is 17.3mm thick, and the official number is somewhere around 18, so happily it's a bit thinner than you might have expected, but this is not a watch that will fit underneath a cuff of any kind. It's even likely to impede suit jacket and sport jacket cuffs. But from lug to lug, it is a reasonable 51.3mm, so you should be able to wear this watch on a wrist as small as 15 centimeters in circumference with security. Now, the strap itself is impressive. It's physically substantial. As you can see, it swells robustly as it approaches the lugs, and with conforming profiles, it actually hugs the flank of the case to create a highly unitized look. There's no gap between strap and case. It's a nice matte black with a sort of bolstered profile. Now, that bolstering is molded in. There's not actually cushioning in it like with a leather strap, but there is a handsome contrasting white stitch. You can see the edges are sheer in form, and it's all bound together by a nicely finished full polish Omega deployant clasp. Now, twin triggers release it, so it pops open only when you depress the triggers. It can't pop open by itself. It's not friction fit. It's nicely made, and no costs were cut here. It even has a minderless system, so excess strap length is tucked underneath the clasp body rather than flapping around, and you need no minder loops to take up the excess strap. The case is simple but distinctive. The flared polished bezels of the Omega Speedmasters and Seamasters are here present and correct. Satin finished on the flank, polished on the bezels, massive in cross section. You can see the helium escape valve, which you screw out and make available for ascents from saturation dives. You bell divers or exotic deep water prospectors and salvage specialists know exactly what this is all about. For the rest of you, bragging rights and conversation starter. The bezel has a wonderful ratcheting action. The knurling is wonderfully deep and has a little bit of a sharp ridge to it, so you can really dig your fingers in, and it's easy to manipulate even if your hands are a little sweaty, gloved, or wet. Now, you can also line it up with the broad arrow style minute hand, and now you've got a 0 to 60 minute countdown timer to operate in tandem with the chronograph function, so you can time two things concurrently. There will be a Lume shot at the end of this video, and it will be worth your while. Moving in, you can see that the dial is distinctive. There are silvered chapter rings for each of the sub-registers that are polished and glint and gleam beautifully. The dial base itself is a matte black for resistance to reflection and glare, and it features full calibration with stylized vintage Arabic numerals designed to evoke the first Omega timing instruments used for the 1932 Olympics. The broad arrow hour and minute hand are designed to evoke 1950s Omega sports watches. And then finally, you have the discrete date window that's hiding between 4 and 5, so with a monotone date disc, it largely blends in and disappears until you're specifically looking for it. Now, of course, I mentioned splashes of color. The tip of the chronograph seconds hand, the Olympic-style multi-ring, multi-color counterweight, and the Omega marquee and logo at 12 o'clock in vintage fashion, as you can see the font. Now, you'll also note the case back, blazoned with the Olympic signature, as well as declaration of Omega's long-standing status as the official timekeeper of the Olympics. Of course, 600 meters water resistant. This is a highly water resistant timepiece, but it has a little bit of a dummy feature, that is dummy screw-down crowns. They're there to create a little bit more volume and body, a little bit more of a butch, chunky profile, but they don't actually screw down or up. The pushers are always accessible, so you don't have to manipulate a screw-down crown to start and stop your watch. It's always ready to answer the call, and the action is crisp thanks to a column wheel function selector, and it's smooth in terms of start-stop. There's no jump or stagger because it is a vertical clutch. Now, if you prefer to have center seconds for your watch and just leave the chronograph running, ignore the hours and minutes, you can do that. With the vertical clutch, there's no additional wear or tear on the movement. It doesn't shorten the maintenance interval. You just keep wearing your watch, leaving the chronograph running. You can do that with a vertical clutch mechanism. Now, there's more going on below the surface. The watch is automatic winding with a 52-hour power reserve, and the 52-hour power reserve wound by a bidirectional winding system. The timepiece also features a quick set for the date, as well as hacking seconds and a free-sprung balance. The free-sprung balance endows the watch with a little bit more shock resistance, and it is a coaxial chronometer. Coaxial being the twin escape wheels on a single axis designed by George Daniels and implemented by Omega. Gradually at first in 1999, later across the entire line, providing short-term timing precision and long-term timing stability, as well as reduced maintenance requirements, and of course a COSC certified Swiss chronometer. If you pull the crown, you do hack the seconds, so the quick set date works in tandem with a hacking seconds function to allow precise setting of the watch to the day or to increments as small as a second. And of course, with the vertical clutch and the column wheel tandem, this is a sophisticated contemporary architecture for a chronograph. You can see and you can purchase this Omega Seamaster Professional Planet Ocean Olympic Specialties chronograph on our website. Okay, and I'm back with the Omega Seamaster Professional Planet Ocean chronograph, the Olympic Specialties 2008 edition. You can see it glows brightly. You can easily get your bearings. You can even see the luminescent pearl of the dive bezel as it rotates. One correction, I did mention this was a bidirectional winding movement in the first half of the video. I realized it's based on a Frederic Piguet 1285 base, so it's actually a unidirectional winder. Add that clarity to literal clarity and check this one out in the light of day on our website.